As an adult, I awakened as a succubus. My childhood sweetheart signed a master-servant contract with me, but he never refused to feed me. I climbed into his bed in the middle of the night. "Noah, I'm hungry." He pushed me against the wall, his voice full of anger. "Can't you control yourself? Stop being like an animal." He moved out and locked me in the dormitory. But he didn't know. That night his bad-tempered roommate came back. "Come here, I'll feed you." Hungry. I was so hungry that I almost lost consciousness. I didn't even hear the door unlock. I curled up in Noah's bed, holding his shirt in my arms, sniffing the scent madly. The bed curtains were jerked open. "I say, Noah, you are." I took 2 steps back, leaned my shoulders against the wall, and looked at the man warily. He is Noah's roommate. His family is very rich, and he has a bad temper. Luca was also shocked. "No? Sister, who are you?" Seeing that I didn't say anything, he closed the bed curtains for me and lowered his voice. "I'm really impressed. Take him back to the dormitory, Noah." He walked further and further away, shouting Noah's name everywhere. He thought Noah was still in the dorm. In fact, Noah had left a long time ago. He left me here alone. Luca looked around but couldn't find anyone, so he leaned against the door and called Noah. "It's turned off." He looked in my direction. "What's going on?" I know Noah turned off his phone a long time ago, because I made a lot of calls. He initially declined the call, then turned off his phone. After a while, Luca came back helplessly. He put his hands on the edge of the bed and tapped twice. "Sister, let's discuss whether you can move out." But I smelled the aroma of food. I have only smelled this scent on Noah. "Put down the clothes in your hand and slowly move towards the bed." Through the gap in the bed curtains, I saw Luca standing below. Logically, I'm a man, so I should move out and let you live here. But I have no money now. No money. Men and women are equal. I don't want to sleep on the street, and this is my dormitory. It's all my dad's fault for kicking me out of the house. Luca's hands have long fingers and distinct joints. I slowly opened my mouth. "Ah!" Luca screamed when I bit him. "Sorry, I'm hungry." I'm embarrassed. Luca squeezed his wrist, looked up at me, and frowned. "You may be hungry, but you can't bite me." Luca didn't live in the dormitory very often, so he didn't have any snacks. He dug out a bucket of instant noodles from Noah's place. "Instant noodles? Would you like some?" I sat on the stool, looked up at him, and shook my head. "I don't eat this." Luca leaned against the table, folded his hands, and looked at me, impatience in his eyes. "Aren't you starving to death?" I stared at him for a moment. "There's no use eating that." "No. I'm so hungry." "No use? Then what do you want to eat? What does Noah buy you?" "Heather salad." Luca was silent for a moment. "Classy." He shrugged, turned the instant noodles in one hand, and walked past me. "If you don't eat, I will." I stood up suddenly, put my hands on his shoulders, and pushed him against the cabinet. Luca raised an eyebrow, sounding surprised. "You're so cute, but your hands are so strong." "No, I want to eat first." I looked up at him and swallowed. "Will you let me kiss you?" "What are you talking about?" He seemed to doubt his ears. I ignored his shock, grabbed his collar, looked up, and kissed him. As soon as I touched his lips, I felt much better. It really is a meal replacement. But then I was pushed away. "What are you doing? You. Aren't you Noah's girlfriend?" Luca put one hand on my shoulder and wiped his lips with the other hand. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. He slowed down and looked at me hesitantly. "Are you his girlfriend? Are you a pervert? Wearing a hoodie, sneaking into the boys' dormitory, and forcefully kissing a handsome guy. My life is ruined by my obsession with looks." He started to pull off my hat, and suddenly his eyes widened. "You are." I hurriedly let him go and used my hands to block the goat horns on my head. His face turned red with shame and anger. "You discovered my secret. I'm going to kill you." Luca was being pinched by my neck. His face gradually turned red, and his voice became crushed. He uttered 3 words with great difficulty. "Beautiful sheep?" I was an ordinary girl, going to school, taking exams, and applying for university. But after my 18th birthday, I awakened into a succubus. My sister flew back from abroad to explain to me that this was family blood. She also brought me a handsome blonde boy, saying it was a coming-of-age gift for me. I broke down on the spot. "I've been admitted to university and completed my military service, and now you're telling me that I'm not a human?" The blonde handsome boy asked me if I wanted to kiss him. I cried even louder. At that time, Noah came to see me and thought that the little brother was bullying me, so they started fighting. Noah and I are childhood sweethearts. I grew up without parents. Apart from my sister, it was just Noah and I who played together. That summer evening, Noah and I sat side by side. I told him my secret. He held an ice pack to his face and hissed in pain when he laughed. "Mia, then please sign the contract with me." An ice pack was stuffed into my palm. Noah put his arms around my neck and leaned over to kiss me. "I have loved you for many, many years." I believe that Noah truly liked me at that time. Later we applied to the same university. Until that time, we haven't seen each other for so long. I woke up in the morning and looked in the mirror and saw 2 little horns growing on my head. I screamed, but my sister didn't care. "This is our true form. It means you haven't eaten for a long time." I immediately ran to find Noah. He was very happy at first, but when he saw my sheep horns, he frowned. I was eager to verify what my sister said, so I rushed over and kissed him forcefully, and sure enough, he became normal again. I'm fine. Noah, look. He leaned against the wall and pushed me away coldly. Get lost. I stood there, not knowing what to do. From that day on, Noah's attitude changed. Guang, don't come near me or follow me. We are not in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. I never said you were my girlfriend. Can't you go find someone else? He hated my features, so he wouldn't feed me anymore. But the less he fed me, the more my features became apparent and the more he hated me, falling into a vicious cycle. After Noah avoided me for nearly a month, I had to move into the boys' dormitory, climb into his bed in the middle of the night. Noah, I'm so hungry, can you please? Noah grabbed my wrist and pushed me against the wall, his voice full of anger. Can't you control yourself? Stop being like an animal. My back and elbows hit the wall, and I gasped in pain. There was moisture in his eyes. Noah sat up and remained silent. He doesn't like talking to me anymore. I pulled his sleeve weakly. Noah. The fabric that was pinched by the fingertips was pulled away. Noah was already out of bed. That's enough. I'm going to move out, so don't follow me. The door was slammed shut. Then there was the sound of the lock being locked. He doesn't want me to find him again. The wind fluttered the curtains. He didn't even notice that I came in through the window. He didn't expect it either. His roommate is back to stay tonight. I decided to let Luca go. A boy who likes Jiang shouldn't be a bad person. Luca was leaning on the side of the bed ladder. His neck was red from my pinching, but he didn't care, and his posture was lazy and casual. He took the photo on his student ID card and compared it with mine one by one. Mia? The one who follows Noah around every day? She does look quite similar, except that she doesn't have horns. I slapped away his hand that was trying to touch my horns. Have you ever read fairy tales? I'm a cursed princess who turns into a goat when I'm hungry. If you do adult things with me, I'll be fine. I say this with a motive. Cursed princess sounds much better than succubus. Luca didn't quite believe my nonsense, or maybe that's not what he cared about. He listened to me and narrowed his eyes slightly. So you are this hungry? He poked my forehead, threw his student ID into my arms, and climbed onto the bed in 2 or 3 steps. Go ahead and have fun. I'll wear headphones and pretend I don't exist. Then he turned around, pulled the quilt, and his nose met my nose. Fuck, you're following me. What are you doing here? The space on the bed was cramped and the atmosphere was tense. I touched my fingertips to my lips and swallowed. You smell so good. I want to kiss you again, can I? He turned his head away awkwardly. Don't make trouble. As he spoke, his sharp Adam's apple rolled. Just as I was about to press it with my hand, someone pinched my hand. What do you want to do? He said in a cold voice. I moved closer and raised my chin slightly. You. Luca's ears turned red instantly. I slowly moved closer to him. He was forced to lean against the wall, closed his eyes, and then looked up at me. Little princess of Sheep Village, are you really not Noah's girlfriend? No. I swore with my fingers raised. Luca lowered his eyes, held my fingers, and slowly tightened them. Whether it is or not, it is not from now on. He grabbed my wrist and pressed me on the bed, then bent down and kissed me for a while. He leaned on his elbows and looked at me, then stood up lazily. Is that enough? I touched the top of my head, and the horns disappeared. I hooked my hands around his neck and pulled him back hard. Not enough. Luca struggled to get up. Attempt. He lowered his head deeply, held my hand in the quilt, and his voice became a little hoarse. No, this is our first meeting. Can you please respect me? But you always want to run away. And I felt wronged. And I'm not full. He closed his eyes and surrendered completely. I won't run away, so you let go first. After Luca got out of bed, he asked me to wait for him. Not long after, the lights in the dormitory were turned off, and when he came back up, he took off his shirt. Turn on the flashlight on your phone and place it upside down on the bed. In the pitch-black environment, this cold white light flipped up and down, illuminating his abdominal muscles. Luca sat on the bed, curled his lips slightly, and signaled to me with his eyes. Come here, I'll feed you. Luca, are you back? There was a knock on Luca's bed. I was awakened by the sound, pulled the quilt over with both hands, and rolled into someone's arms out of habit. The man casually put his arm around my waist and extended a hand outside the bed. Don't make any noise, I'm sleeping. I was so fucking exhausted last night. The man paused and his voice dropped. When did you get back? Did you run into anyone? My mind suddenly became clear. Noah's back. I opened my eyes immediately. He met Luca's gaze, which was full of warning. Who is it? I came back early, you are not here. Noah said, oh, and said it was just a casual question, then sat down in his seat. Through the bed curtains, I could still see Noah's back. Luca pressed me down and covered my mouth tightly with his hand. He took out his cell phone and typed something for me to see. Why are you so nervous? Are you afraid that he will know you are in my bed? I shook my head slightly and inadvertently caught a glimpse of. Noah stood up, holding his phone. Luca, didn't you say you arrived early? He walked over to Luca's bed. You called me at 12 o'clock last night. He stood still and raised his hand to draw open the bed curtain. Luca leaned back against the head of the bed, pulled the quilt over with one hand, and looked at him expressionlessly. I just asked if you were in the dormitory. Now everything is fine. Noah looked over, his tone incredulous. You always sleep like this, naked? I was so suffocated in the quilt that I could hardly breathe, thinking of Luca's body right before my eyes. Because he was too nervous, his body swayed a little. Noah noticed the movement and his eyes widened. The voice was filled with shock. What are you doing? There's a woman hiding in the bed. It's over. I've been discovered. I was about to drill up. Luca closed his eyes, secretly pressed my head, and pushed me back. The next second, he took his hand out from under the quilt. Where are the women? I'm busy with my own business. That's not okay. Luca pulled the bed curtains shut with one hand, shielding Noah from his suspicious gaze. Okay, whatever you say is fine. Noah's voice drifted away. I'm going to the library. You two should hurry up and pack up. There was the soft sound of a door being closed. I stuck my head out from under the quilt, my face flushed, and I was breathing slightly. Less than a minute later, my cell phone rang suddenly. It was Noah calling me. He hadn't walked far when he heard a bell suddenly ringing from behind a door. Noah returned almost immediately. Who is Luca, your bed? Is it Mia? She is in your bed? He gripped the edge of the bed tightly, his fingertips turning white from the force, and his voice was rapid and panicked. I also don't understand what Noah is so nervous about. But the cell phone ringing was still ringing for no apparent reason. Luca pulled open the bed curtain, raised his eyelids, and glanced at him coldly, then pointed his finger at the ground. What are you thinking about? Noah looked over there. It was my cell phone, lying under his seat. Noah squatted down, picked up the phone, and his voice became calm. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. She left her phone behind. Is it a misunderstanding? Last night, when I was taking off my clothes, my phone was accidentally thrown out. We were so drunk at the time that no one wanted to go down and pick it up. Noah, what's wrong with you? Lucas stared at his profile and asked knowingly. Who is Mia? Your girlfriend? No, it's a friend of mine. Noah paused and emphasized. Just an ordinary friend. Noah put his phone in his bag and left quickly this time. I supported myself with my hands and sat up. Luca put his hands on the bed rail and looked at me with a smile on his lips. Are you up? I pulled up the quilt to cover my body and nodded hesitantly. Thank you for yesterday. Luca smiled coldly when he heard that and leaned further outward, with the back of his hand under his nose, and spoke in a nonchalant tone. All right, this is my first time, and I can even get a thank you. I pulled the quilt with one hand, slowly moved my body, and groped around with the other hand. Luca reached under the pillow, pulled out my underwear, and held it in front of me with 2 fingers. You're welcome. I do one good deed a day. He threw off the quilt and got out of bed. I drew the bed curtains tight and changed my clothes. Luca pulled out a white shirt and stuffed it under the curtain. Wear this. A sweatshirt doesn't look good on you. It looks sinister. I'd better wear my own. Luca sighed helplessly. Do you really have to make me tell the truth? It's stained. Oh, the second largest class in the morning is advanced mathematics. During the break, Noah came to see me. He came to give me a mobile phone. I was wearing a shirt and short skirt, with my long hair falling on my chest and blown away by the wind. Noah was stunned. Are you okay? I took the phone from him and said softly. In the past, I always followed him and begged him. I might turn into a beast at any moment. I haven't lived like a normal person for a long time. Noah looked at his empty hands and retracted his extra emotions. Since you can do it yourself, don't force me anymore. I lowered my eyes. Not again. We stood together, with nothing more to say, until Noah said at an inopportune moment, You look good in a white shirt. I thought to myself, this belongs to your roommate, but I didn't say it out loud. Noah mentioned it casually. This brand is very niche, and my roommate likes it very much. I turned to look at him, but couldn't guess what he meant. I bought it too, isn't it okay? Noah stopped talking. The bell rang, and I prepared to go back to the classroom. Noah stepped forward to stop me, holding the ointment in his hand. I brought this for you. He pointed to his elbow. Did you bump into it last night? I didn't go to get it, but looked up at him. Noah, I told you, my body is different from that of ordinary people. These medicines won't work on me. After having sex with Luca, I no longer have any injuries. Noah paused, withdrew his hand, and threw the ointment into the trash can. He said word by word, I forgot that you are not a human being. He left after saying this. I glanced at the trash can. If it were in the past, I would pick it up and chase after him to coax him. But this time, there is no need to pick it up again. The first thing I did when I got the phone was to add Luca on WeChat. But I didn't know how to express my feelings, so I transferred him 500 yuan. What's the meaning? Sister, are you kidding me? $500, are you dissatisfied? I can imagine his tone just through the screen. No, didn't you say last time that you had no money? I'll give you some money to buy some snacks. I understand. Then add another 20 and transfer them together. He returned the $500. I grinned at my phone. My roommate came over quietly and bumped my shoulder in an ambiguous way. What's going on? Are you and Noah making any progress? I turned off my phone and pretended to listen to the class. It's not Noah, it's someone else. Have you finally come to your senses? You finally stopped chasing Noah? No wonder. Her eyes were extremely gossipy, as if she had discovered some secret. What's the matter? No wonder you're wearing this shirt today. Ahem, is it that other person's? I was a little surprised. How did you guess it? She neatly turned up my sleeves to show the embroidery there. This brand only makes men's clothing. I was stunned for a long time. Does no one know this too? But it's okay this way. Maybe next time we meet, I can ask him to terminate the contract. After class, many people poured out of the teaching building. I actually saw Luca from a distance. He walked back and forth with 2 or 3 boys, attracting many girls to peek at them. It turns out that handsome guys only play with handsome guys. Luca is the most attractive among them, with his height, long legs, and stunning face. Some people even sighed quietly. There are 365 days in a year. What's wrong with him lending it to me for 2 days? 2 girls went over to talk to him, but he rejected them after just a few words. My roommate's voice rang in my ears. I heard it's hard to get a hold of this cool guy from the finance department, but this time I finally saw it with my own eyes. You mean Luca? Is he cool? I was stunned. He was quite well behaved. I looked at him subconsciously. 50 meters away, Luca suddenly looked up and met my gaze. I took my roommate and left. For the first time, I was living my own life. Just as I thought, having sex is much more useful than kissing. Luca's stamina is really good. But half a month later, I was hungry again. I lay on the bed and texted Luca. I'm hungry, where are you? I waited for a long time, but he didn't reply. I had no choice but to call. But it wasn't him who answered the call. Brother Yen, your phone is ringing. Oh my god, is it Mei Yang calling? I was speechless. What kind of a note did he give me? Luca already has the phone. The lazy voice sounded numb in the electric current. Looking for me? What's the matter? I traced the pattern of the sheets with my fingertips. Luca, I'm hungry. Want to invite me to dinner? His voice rose slightly at the end. I swallowed and said, I want to eat you. The voice on the other end paused. I've sent you the address. A billiard hall located near the school. Luca held the pool cue, slowly turned to the corner of the table, leaned forward, put his hands forward, and aimed at the target. The boys nearby were watching attentively. But before Luca could even send the cue straight, I pulled him by the wrist and turned him over, with his upper body pressed onto the pool table. Just as Luca was about to look up, I lowered my head and kissed him. The golf club in his hand was also messed up and quickly swept over several balls, which fell to the ground with several muffled sounds. Everyone was stunned. Does anyone remember where the ball was just now? Forget about the ball, bro. My brother Yen, call the police now. I'm warning you. Let go of us, Luca. I'm recording it. I let Luca go after I kissed him enough. He looked like he had been ravaged. His hair was messy, and he was pressed on the table by me, with a complicated and helpless tone. Can you please not be so impatient every time? It's not like I won't let you kiss me. Luca stood up, picked up the club from the ground, and looked at the chaos on the table. What will happen if I finish this game? He sighed depressedly. I will win. I hesitated for a moment. Actually, I can play this. I'll help you win it back. I'll go get someone to come and rearrange the ball. Another round of billiards begins. Luca asked me to play a few rounds first, and then he would play when we were behind in the score. I refused. Then you won't have any fun. Luca bent his knuckles, tapped my forehead, and said disapprovingly, Little Lamb is quite good at bragging, just watching me from the side. He played billiards quite well, but he seemed a little nervous and made several strange mistakes. His friends noticed it too and started whispering and looking at me from time to time. I picked up a club and walked over to him. Let me do it. One shot to clear the table. The whole audience was silent. Luca pretends to be nonchalant. I didn't expect you to be so good. Was there anything wrong with the way I fought just now? There's nothing wrong. You just played too pretentiously. I was honest. The people around burst into laughter. Luca went to pay the bill with a blank expression. I walked to the alley next to me, threw the empty bottle into the trash can, and turned around to see Noah. My mood instantly sank. We haven't seen each other for almost half a month. What are you busy with recently? Nothing, just class. As I passed Noah, he grabbed my wrist, stopping me in my tracks. He was silent for a long time, tilted his head to look at me, and spoke in a dull voice. Are you feeling unwell? He knows that I would look for him every 3 to 5 days, but now it has been too long. I closed my eyes and shook off his hand. No, I already have control over it. I took 2 steps forward, but was pulled back by Noah. He cornered me against the wall and slowly looked down at me, his voice getting even lower. Do you want me to kiss you? I leaned back, raised my eyes coldly, and met his eyes. Noah, am I supposed to kiss you, or are you going to kiss me? He hesitated for a moment and lowered his eyes. Even if I want to kiss you. I turned my head away and smiled helplessly. Noah thought this was a consent and was about to bend down to kiss me, but I pushed him away harshly. But I don't want to kiss you now. Noah pursed his lips tightly, stared at me and asked, why? A cold and clear voice sounded. Why? Who kisses an ordinary friend? Lucas stood not far away with his hands in his pockets. Mia, come here. He acts quite cool outside. I was about to go over to him, but Noah stood in front of me. He said coldly, so obedient? Are you familiar with my roommate? Not familiar. Just like us, just ordinary friends. I walked past him. Noah called me. Mia, that's enough. Do you think this is fun? Does he know who you are? I stopped. Yeah, what would he think of my identity? Noah's voice continued. I don't know what's wrong with me lately, but I keep thinking about you. Mia, I think I'm more. I turned around and interrupted Noah. Noah, if we have time, let's cancel the contract. Noah was stunned. Is there a way to solve this? I could actually hear disappointment in his tone. Yes. Luca is coming over. I turned around and begged Noah. Please don't tell him. I beg you. Noah's eyes cracked and his expression turned lifeless. Don't tell me you like him? I was stunned by his question. Luca walked up to me, took me away, and his voice was extremely resentful. What is there to talk about? If we chat for a while, we'll become good friends. Noah behind him sneered. Luca, what are you pretending for? Luca stopped and looked back at him. What am I pretending? Noah looked up. Don't you know that the person she likes is me? Luca smiled, his tone becoming a little more casual. Really? Then what are you afraid of? His light words left Noah speechless. He stood there alone, watching us leave. Luca took me back to the dormitory. The sky was getting darker and darker, and the street lights came on one by one, illuminating our eyes and brows. Luca leaned back against the tree, lowered his head and hugged me, kissing me passionately. I couldn't even stand and had to rely on his hands to hold my waist. He's a better kisser than me. Luca slowly let me go and ran his fingertips through my hair. How long can a kiss like this last? 3 to 5 days. He thought about it. It seems that this will last for half a month. I looked at him for a while, then mustered up my courage. Would you like to stay with me tonight? Luca glared at me coldly, pinched the flesh of my cheek, and laughed angrily. You really treat me as a tool? You only use me once every 2 weeks. Are you still human? He exposed it. I am incompetent but complaining. There are 365 days in a year. What's wrong with you lending me 24 days to play with? Luca was speechless. Where did you learn those bullshit sayings? After returning from the pool hall that day, Luca kept messaging me. But he posts too many messages, and I don't reply to every one of them. Meal replacement. Want to go out and watch a movie? Meal replacement. Want to play billiards? Meal replacement. Are you playing games? I'm online too. Meal replacement. Don't reply to me. Meal replacement. Go downstairs and kiss. I received. Meal replacement. Meal replacement. Want to go to the playground tonight? I heard someone is singing. Meal replacement. Kissing on the playground. I received. Meal replacement. You ignore me except for kissing. Meal replacement. Princess, I saw you playing with your phone in the library. Are you still pretending? Meal replacement. I am angry. Meal replacement. Kiss in the library. I am coming to. Between 2 rows of closely spaced bookshelves. Luca grabbed my wrist, held me in his arms, and forced me to look at his chat history. Mia, what is our relationship? Kissing partners? Kissing is all you can think about. He also changed my note to lust-hungry ghost. No, we did book a room, but you didn't agree. Luca let go of my hand, glared at me coldly, and laughed out loud in anger. You're right. Even if you just want to sleep with me, you have to pay first. I took out my cell phone and prepared to transfer the money. How much do you want to pay? Luca took my phone, turned off the screen, and threw it back into my arms. It's not about the money. He is leaving. I called his name. Luca. What's wrong? He looked back at me. You're not going to kiss me anymore? Luca hesitated for a moment. No more kissing. He continued walking forward. I stood there, and before long, a figure appeared in my sight. When I looked up again, it was Noah. Noah put his hands on the bookshelf and took 2 steps forward, getting closer and closer to me. Mia, how long has it been since we last had sex? I don't seem to be feeling well. He was holding his chest and leaning forward, and he looked normal, but the color was almost gone from his face. Noah, the contract has backfired on you. He looked up at me with disbelief. That master-servant contract also binds you. You didn't do this before because I would get close to you. Noah pulled my arm and pushed me against the bookshelf, wanting to confirm this. But he was quickly pulled away by someone and pushed hard to the ground. Luca looked down at him, rubbing the wrist that had just attacked him, with a hint of hostility in his eyes. Stealing home? I had a fight with her, and you came out. Noah hung his head helplessly and laughed bitterly. It's true. Being near you really makes me feel better. When Noah looked at me again, his eyes were shining. Why didn't you tell me before? If you tell me, I will cooperate with you. I told you, I interrupted him. I told you that if you don't let me get close to you, you'll get hurt. But what did you say? Noah remembered. He murmured, I said you were just trying to deceive me. Luca took my hand and walked out. As I passed by Noah's feet, he grabbed the corner of my clothes. Mia. It was in this tone that I called Noah's name, hoping that he would stay for me. It turns out that this is what it feels like to listen to this kind of plea from a different perspective. I pried open Noah's fingers one by one. Noah, bear with it for a while. When my sister comes back, I'll ask her to untie us. Noah also felt what I felt at the time. The feeling of being tortured by pain and being completely unable to lead a normal life. He looks for me every day. The teaching building, the library, the gymnasium, wherever I appear, I can run into Noah. He begged me more than once. Can you be alone with me for a while? This time it was my turn to hide in the dormitory. Noah stayed downstairs of the girls' dormitory for a whole day and night. From time to time I went to the balcony and looked down. What comes to my mind is that summer evening. Noah asked me to put an ice pack on his face. As soon as I got close to him, he took a breath, but a smile was evident in his eyes. Mia, could you be a little gentler? Even though I have been the most gentle to him, he still feels uncomfortable. The next morning, my roommate and I went to take the exam. Noah suddenly appeared in front of me, his eyes red. Mia, I'm really uncomfortable. Can you? He looked at me and my roommate, and his voice became weaker. Can you kiss me? My roommate was stunned at the time. He picked up the canvas bag in his hand, beat Noah, and ran away with me. When I arrived at the teaching building, my examination room was on the second floor. I glanced down inadvertently and saw the two boys who had played billiards with Luca before. It turns out that the finance department also has an exam today, and the exam room is on the first floor. I secretly went over to check the list of candidates, and Luca's name was on it. He had ignored me for a long time. Classmate, who are you looking for? A boy came over and started a conversation. I was about to speak when Luca appeared. He glanced at the boy. Looking for me. Go get in line. The man said awkwardly. Why are they all looking for you? Luca put his hands in his pockets and walked forward lazily. I followed him silently. He stopped and looked at me and said in a very arrogant tone, What are you doing? Classmate, I'm going to the bathroom. Are you coming with me? Before he finished pulling, I pulled him in. Inside the cubicle, Luca had his mouth tightly covered by my hand and sat back on the toilet. There was shock in his eyes, his breathing was violent, and he made unclear sounds, as if he was protesting against me. I straddled him. It's time for you to kiss me. He stared at me, tilted his head away, and a muffled hum came out of his throat. You can't even hum. I'll let go of my hand, and you won't scream. I turned his face back. Luca looked at me coldly. His earlobes were red, and there were red finger marks on his face. This contrast between inside and outside makes him look so attractive. I stared at him, my heart pounding. It's over. This time I'm not hungry. This time I'm greedy. Luca's voice was hoarse. Start with me. I then looked down. Hey, you seem to want to be with me. No, I have my own will. Luca pushed me away. He opened the door a crack, looked around, and made sure that there was no one in the men's room before turning back. You go out first. I'll kiss you after the exam is over. I just walked out the door and ran into Noah. I just remembered that Noah and Luca are in the same major. Luca waited for a while before coming out. Noah's face instantly became extremely gloomy. Mia, I've been begging you to touch me for days. His voice was shaking. You'd rather fool around with him than with me? Control yourself. Stop being like an animal. I turned and left. Noah pounded the wall hard with his hands, blood oozing out from between his fingers, and then slowly squatted down. Does she really not like me? She's mad at me. Luca clenched his fist and coughed, then walked past him and threw down a sentence. I didn't do anything bad to her in the bathroom. The exam was over long ago. But Luca's exam was not over yet. There were quite a few people watching at the door. I heard that something happened to a candidate. I pushed through the crowd and squeezed in. It was Noah who was slumped in front of the podium, his hands covering his heart, his lips trembling, and cold sweat dripping down his forehead. Fortunately, it wasn't Luca. I was about to go out and wait, but Noah saw me and acted like he had found a life-saving straw. Mia, it's great that you came to see me and that you still care about me. He suddenly laughed and reached out to grab the edge of the table, as if to gain leverage to stand up. But before he stood up, Luca handed in the test paper and walked over to me. Are you getting impatient? I held his hand and was about to walk out, lowering my voice. You said you would kiss me after the exam. Just a few words made Noah stop what he was doing. He stared at our backs, his face becoming increasingly gloomy. The back door of the teaching building is always closed. I sat on Luca's lap, put my hands around his neck, and bent down to kiss him effortlessly. He sat on the steps, put one arm around me, and supported himself with the other arm on the ground. Luca, you smell so good. He pinched my waist with his hands. Just kiss me, don't say anything. I looked down at him for a while, then naturally changed the subject. A new hotel has opened near the school. Do you want to go there? Luca looked up speechlessly. I can still tell the difference between playing and being played. I touched his lips, but I want to last for half a month. He lowered his eyes and asked softly, Why? Is kissing not enough for you? I was stunned by his question. It is enough, but not enough. I let go of Luca reluctantly and gave him an ultimatum. Summer vacation is coming soon. You can't be reserved for much longer. He pinched my nose and laughed softly. Mia, just wait then. Summer vacation is coming soon. I have told my sister about the termination of the contract. She heard what I said and expressed regret. I didn't suggest the bond at first, but Noah insisted. Doesn't that boy like you very much? My sister is very protective of her children. So I didn't tell my sister about how Noah always starved me on purpose and asked me to try Heather when he was really annoyed with me. I used to like it, but now I don't like it anymore. Such things are common everywhere and are never surprising. The next time I saw Noah was at the entrance of the library. The branches of the tree were wrapped with light strips, emitting a brilliant glow. Noah was standing under the tree, wearing a light blue sweatshirt and holding a bouquet of gardenias. Mia, I suddenly remembered that I haven't apologized to you yet. I shouldn't have locked you in the dormitory. I'm sorry. Got it. I didn't take the flowers he handed to me. Noah was not angry. He just forced a smile at me with his pale face. Don't hide from me. I will control it. I'm in pain now, but I won't touch you anymore. Luca's pleasant voice can be heard in the Bluetooth headset. Sounds like my roommate went looking for you again. I've been chatting with Luca a lot lately. We usually don't disturb each other, but sometimes we chat when we think of each other. I walked towards the dormitory, and Noah followed behind me. Mia, stay away from Luca. He is not a good person. Luca sneered. He heard it all. Mia, don't hang up. I want to hear what he says about me. Well, I became an intermediary. What's wrong with him? Noah walked beside me, keeping pace with me. He brought girls back to the dormitory to have sex. Isn't that bad enough? I turned my head to look at him. Didn't he know that it was me that day? Do you think he likes that girl? Why would you want to get together with him when he sleeps with others so easily? I suddenly stopped and stood a few steps away from him, our eyes meeting. Noah, you know everything, right? He looked into my eyes, his voice trembling slightly. I don't know anything. He smiled awkwardly, as if he was about to cry. I was wrong. I didn't know you were so difficult to endure. He paused for a moment and wiped his eyes with his hand. I shouldn't have locked you in the dorm, and I shouldn't have turned off my phone and missed your call. I couldn't see clearly in the darkness, but I knew he was crying. Noah tried his best not to cry awkwardly and tried his best to swallow his grievances. Mia, I don't dislike you. I just need time to accept it. Can you come back to me? I won't hurt you again. He wanted to hold my hand, but I gently avoided him. Noah, you don't have to do this. Our contract will be resolved soon. There were tears in his eyes, but a sarcastic smile came out of his mouth, and his shoulders trembled slightly. Mia, don't you believe me? I've been having a hard time these days, but I never wanted to break up with you. I just want you to come back and love me like you did before. He cried and laughed in frustration, staring into my eyes intently. You like me. You only liked me, you never liked him, right? I looked at Noah, who was desperate for an answer, but I was thinking of someone else. Then I realized that Luca had hung up the call. Mia, listen to me. Noah suddenly became excited and pulled me into his arms like crazy. When you wanted something before, you always came to me. You will remember me. He put his arms around my waist and lowered his head to kiss me forcefully. Before I could push him away, Noah was suddenly kicked hard and fell several meters forward. Luca retracted his foot and slowly walked over to me. No matter how bad I am, I never forced her. The streetlights flickered. Noah propped himself up with his hands and stood up unsteadily. Then our moral standards are not the same. He wiped the blood from the corner of his lips. At least I won't sleep with my roommate's girlfriend. I want to ask you, do you enjoy sleeping with her? I was so angry that I wanted to kick him, but Luca gently stopped me. Don't worry about it, he's targeting me. Luca confronts him. She's not your girlfriend. I asked her and I asked you. She said she wasn't, and you believed her? Luca, who are you kidding? Can you say you were 100 sure at the time? Can you say you didn't think that even if she was, you would still take her away? Luca looked at him and fell silent. Noah grabbed his collar and brought the two closer. You think I don't know you? You knew I was going to give her a cell phone, but you let her wear your clothes. How can you be so shameless? Luca didn't push him away, letting him grab his clothes and looking at him coldly. She and I were in love, so who are you to criticize me? In the silent night, Luca's sneers sounded particularly clear. Noah, you guessed that she was in my bed that morning. Why didn't you dare to say it? I asked you if Mia was your girlfriend. You knew she could hear it. Why didn't you say yes? Because you regretted it at that time. You regretted and felt awkward, but you didn't dare to expose the truth. You pretended not to know, and you pretended to be affectionate? Noah seemed to understand what he said, and the strength in his hands disappeared. Luca grabbed his wrist and casually pushed it away, causing him to take a few steps back. He lowered his head to straighten his collar and said with a sigh, You want to go back now? Dream on. Noah was in a daze for a long time, as if he was thinking, and finally looked at me steadily. Mia, I was wrong. I know I was wrong. He walked over as he spoke, as if to prove his heart. I don't care what happens between you and him. You can go play with him in the future as long as you still care about me. I really like you, and I never thought you would leave me. Luca laughed mockingly. He wants to, but I don't. Luca walked towards me casually, his tone extremely nonchalant. Didn't you say you had opened a new hotel and wanted to take me there? Now. I wasn't sure what he meant. Luca glanced at Noah. Why, you don't have time now. Noah clenched his fists and stared at Luca, his eyes gradually turning red. You want to take her to a hotel now? Luca, you are not a human being. Luca ignored him. He walked forward with one hand in his pocket and patted my shoulder with the other hand. This is a rare opportunity. Noah looked at me painfully, tears falling from the corners of his eyes. Don't go with him. Please, can you take me to the hospital? I looked at him, then at the back, and hurriedly said something. Take a taxi yourself. I quickly caught up with Luca. He put his elbow on my shoulder, tilted his head to look at me, smiled, and raised his chin slightly. Remember to buy me a bottle of water. I'm thirsty from scolding people. I couldn't help but laugh. I looked back and saw Noah limping after us, but soon he was left behind by us. I lay on the bed in the hotel, covered with a quilt, with my head exposed. Luca walked out of the bathroom, a white bath towel tied around his lower body, holding a towel in his hand, wiping his hair carelessly. I stared at his body, with its broad shoulders, narrow waist, prominent abdominal muscles, and strong forearms, and I couldn't help swallowing. Luca had sat down next to me, his fingers brushing across my forehead. Wake up. I came back to my senses. Should I turn off the lights? He grabbed my hand. Wait. Before that, you need to explain clearly what our relationship is. Advance to the bed frame. Luca placed my hand in his palm and gently stroked the back of my hand with his fingertips. Have you ever thought about having a boyfriend? When he said this, he was obviously relieved and slowly met my gaze. I hesitantly pulled my hand out. You'll hate my true identity. I also have something I haven't told you. When we first met, I said you were Mei Yangyang's in order to avoid being strangled by you. Luca paused. Actually, I recognized you, but I think girls might like to be mistaken for Mei Yangyang. I sat up in surprise. So you know I am. Before I could finish, he slowly curled his lips, moved closer to me, and stared into my eyes. I know you are. Isn't it because you are that you always kiss me? Then you don't mind? What's there to mind? You're just a head. Sometimes, there are two horns, and the strength is a little bit stronger, and it will be uncomfortable if I don't stick to you. He looked at me with a smile and frowned helplessly. This is just like a normal girl. I stared at him blankly, then gradually began to laugh. He really thought so. Luca, let's start a relationship then. I threw myself forward into his arms, tears welling up uncontrollably in my eyes. Luca patted my back. Mia, why are you crying? Then don't sleep with me tonight. Just get some rest. I immediately looked up at him and wiped away my tears. No, I need to sleep. Summer vacation is almost here. Good. Luca smiles like a fox. This time I didn't allow him to turn off the lights. Because I want to see him. He has a very pleasant face. Luca's forehead was all wet with sweat. He wiped the sweat with a tissue and stopped impatiently. He lifted his hair with one hand and picked up the phone on the bedside table with the other. My cell phone has been hung up on many times, but it keeps ringing. Are you done yet? You keep calling me. Don't you know we're busy? Noah's voice was calm. Luca, give her the phone. I was still lying there and took the phone. Hello? Go ahead. I lowered my head to look at Luca. Looking at him from the side, you can say that he has a good-looking profile. Then looking down from the top of his head, his nose and lips are just right. How should I describe it? Noah said, Mia, I got hit by a car. I clenched the phone tightly. Tears welled up in my eyes, and my voice became nasal. Luca, don't. I looked down at him. He looked up, resting his elbows on the bed, and raised an eyebrow at me. Just listen to him carefully. Noah paused for a moment, as if he hadn't heard, and continued. Can you come and see me? I sighed. Noah, what are you doing? The wry smile in his voice was evident. Come on, just come and see me, is that not okay? If you're worried that I'll treat you badly, then ask him to come with you. Luca rubbed his brows as he listened, and he lost interest. Forget it. Go ahead, I can't stand it anymore. Noah's voice became louder and his emotions became more intense. Luca, do you want to bring her over? I'll send you the address. Luca responded casually, send it to me. He was about to get off the bed, and I hooked his waist with my legs. You haven't given it to me yet. I caught Luca. You can't leave until you finish this. I patted his face warningly. Luca raised his chin and looked at me. His eyes were dark and unclear, and his sharp Adam's apple rolled down. He spoke slowly into the phone. Wait for me an hour and a half, and I'll take her over. My phone is off. Noah on the other end of the phone went crazy instantly. Is half an hour not enough? You clearly said half an hour, you. Luca hung up immediately. Am I spoiling him? He looked down at me again, curling his lips. We have to hurry. Luca was waiting for me in the hallway. I sat on the bed and watched Noah. You deliberately went to the road to avoid our good night, and got hit by a car. Is that interesting? Noah lay weakly on the hospital bed, his left leg in a cast and suspended, with 4 needles stuck in the back of his hand. He looked at me expressionlessly. You guys are out of time. I waited for 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 21 seconds. Do you like him that much? I just don't like you anymore. I stood up. My sister will be here soon. Let's cancel the contract and call it a day. Noah sneered instead. Why? We both signed a master-servant contract, but he can feed you. Shouldn't it be me? It's been almost a year. No matter how miserable you were before, you could only come to me for help in the end. Why? He can do it too. Noah became more and more excited as he spoke, pulling at the needle on the back of his hand, but he was completely unaware. I gave him the answer. Guang, because you have never done it with me, the contract is not very strong. Guang, no matter how miserable I am, I come back to beg you because I loved you. Do you still remember that when we signed the contract, you promised my sister that you would appear whenever I needed you? But you didn't do it, Noah. I was starving that night, and Luca happened to be a high-quality virgin. My sister told me that even if we were dying, we could still survive by eating a virgin. I don't want to insist on liking you anymore. I stood up. let him have a good rest, and closed the door. Noah sat on the bed in a daze, tear stains on his face, and said nothing more. In the hospital corridor, the beautiful curly-haired sister stopped in front of Luca. She took off her large dark brown sunglasses and poked Luca's chest with the frames. Brother, you are alone in the hospital at this time. Is there any difficulty at home? Do you want your sister to help you? Luca stepped back sharply and replied to her in a cold voice. Thank you. My family is in such a difficult situation that I only have money left. I quickly ran over and grabbed the woman. Sister, this is not okay. This is my boyfriend. My sister and Luca were both embarrassed. Luca coughed and slowly stood up. Hello, sister. My sister then looked at Luca seriously and then looked at me in disbelief. This time, your vision is much better than last time. My sister entered Noah's hospital room. She pulled Noah's arm, cut an incision with a knife, and slowly drew out the blood contract. Noah was trapped on the bed, still trying to struggle, tears streaming from the corners of his eyes. Come on, I don't want to be untied. Mia, this is my connection to you. He could feel something being pulled out of his body. Noah bit his lower lip until it turned white, and looked straight at me, tears flowing like a flood. I don't need you to get close to me. I've learned to endure that kind of pain. I'm willing to think about you feeling bad. Is that not okay? Mia, I just haven't figured it out. I really like you. I've liked you for many, many years. Noah's voice became weaker and weaker, and it was almost only he who could hear it. The moment the blood contract was drawn out, he fainted. My sister flew abroad again. She asked Luca if he wanted to sign a contract with me. Luca refused, saying that it was unnecessary and that freedom was the prerequisite for love. It was almost dawn. Luca and I got out of the car and walked towards the hotel. There were only a few pedestrians on the road. He suddenly said something for no reason. Mia, I don't think I've told you yet. I like you. I looked up and met his serious gaze. No. Luca continued to look straight ahead. You should say that you like me too. He tilted his head to look at me. Do you like me? I didn't understand, but I cooperated with him. I like you. Luca paused, as if he had finally gotten to the point. If you like me, why didn't you reply to my messages? Apart from asking you to kiss me, you ignored me. I don't know how to pursue you anymore. It turns out that he was chasing me. I didn't know how to answer for a moment. In fact, I read every message he sends as soon as possible. I just heard that he was hard to pursue, and I didn't want to become addicted so quickly, so I didn't dare to have too much contact with him at that time. I didn't know you were chasing me. Luca thought about it. Then how can I pursue you if you like me? I can start pursuing you now. I don't really care about the process. There are 365 days in a year. You can just lend it to me for 300 days. Luca patted my face wordlessly. I'm in your class. I immediately grabbed his hand and looked up at him. Look at me. Do I look like your class? Luca ruffled my hair with his hands, a smile in his eyes. I'm really impressed by you. Over. Extra chapter, talking about the real succubus? One day after a few years of dating, Luca found a book in my house. He pointed at the book and asked me, other people's succubi have tails, why don't you have one? I was stunned. I have. Luca was stunned. You actually hid the good stuff from your boyfriend? Well, okay, then I'll transform into my true form and show you. With horns and a tail, don't be afraid. I'm still mumbling. Luca had changed into his pajamas and was sitting at the head of the bed, crossing his legs. Don't be afraid. I don't think there's anything to be afraid of, but I don't know your taste. For example, Noah doesn't like it. Luca's eyes fell on me, and he coughed uncomfortably. Why aren't you wearing any clothes? I'm wearing clothes. How can I put my tail down? And you're still pretending to be embarrassed. You've been looking at me, and you haven't stopped. Luca was very ritualistic. He clasped his hands together and closed his eyes. You can change. I just hope to still be a woman. I patted him. Okay, this is my real body. Luca slowly opened his eyes and looked me up and down, his expression becoming increasingly weird. I picked up my little tail and showed him my special skills. Look, the arrow on this demon's tail can light up and change color. What color do you like? Luca stared at me, distracted. Don't like this? I can also make small electric sparks, but you have to turn off the lights to see them. Some people have run out of tricks. Well, it can actually charge my phone, but wireless charging is so slow that I don't even use it myself. I gave up recommending my tail and sighed softly. Baby, you don't like it, do you? Luca pinched his chin with 2 fingers and shook his head gently, his eyes seeming to be in deep thought. I wasn't even looking at that. You've really changed a lot. He pointed at me and pointed wherever he said. Her face has gotten smaller, her breasts have gotten bigger, her waist has gotten thinner, her voice has gotten more strangled, and her IQ has obviously dropped. This really makes her look like a succubus to me. Something seemed wrong with him. What's on your mind? Luca put his fist to his lips and smiled extremely exaggeratedly. Oh my God, Noah actually hates this? There are horns on her head and a tail behind her. What a cute girl. Control yourself. When he saw my true form, I was wearing clothes, and he didn't stare at other places like you do. Luca pretended to be serious and coughed lightly. I am just good at observation and will not be fooled by appearances. He slowly raised his eyes, stared at me, and curled his lips wickedly. And according to my reasoning, other parts of you must have changed as well. Let me verify it. I quickly rolled off the bed and picked up clothes to wear. Luca, you seem to have become bad. Don't come over here. Luca hasn't forgotten it since the last time. He flipped through several books every day, trying to prove his innocence. You read the book, and it says that the true form of the succubus has the function of enchanting. So I was enchanted by you last time. If you don't believe me and change it again, I won't do anything to you. I looked at Luca speechlessly. Do you think I'm a fool? Luca assured me again and again that that was not his nature. Let me change him once. 5 minutes later. Luca, give me my clothes back. Don't come over here again. So cute, I'm so fierce. Hee hee, another fierce one. Luca drank the water nonchalantly. You are totally editing it. I am not that perverted. Luckily, I recorded the video. I'm taking this shot from beginning to end. I took his water cup away, leaned over him, and stared into his eyes. Are you pretending, or did you really forget? Don't you have any recollection of it? Luca swallowed the water in his mouth. I just dreamed that there was a little kitty who loved me very much. So what did you do to her? He turned to look at me innocently. I'm sucking cats. And the answer was flawless. But I had planted the seeds of doubt. Luca is so suspicious. Baby, doesn't your main body need a bath? Should you take a bath too? Don't worry about it. The door lock is dead. Can you lend me your tail? I have a power bank. Finally, when it was time for dinner, I started to talk about sad literature. Like is restraint, love is indulgence. Is that what you said? Because I've been truly loved, the gap of not being loved is huge. I don't want to bother with him. Being deaf and dumb in a marriage is an extreme form of cold violence. I put down my bowl and chopsticks. We are not married yet. Luca put his fingers together and looked at me seriously. Okay, I accept your proposal. He really got married. I thought Luca's parents would be typical wealthy parents, who would give me $5 million to let me leave their son, or hire a wizard to subdue me. But his parents are very easygoing, and they like me very much. Guang, you are Mia, you have such big eyes, so cute. Come on, let's take a picture. Okay. It turns out that his whole family is a Lolita complex. Luca walked over to me, holding a glass of wine. How was it? Was I efficient? I looked at him. Your father doesn't seem strict, so why were you kicked out of the house in the first place? Luca waved his hand nonchalantly. It's nothing. I took him to stock trading. So you lost a lot of money? No. He insisted on selling, and I bought at the bottom. I made a fortune. Luca seemed to have remembered something funny and shook his head in amusement. Old men can't afford to play with this. Wedding night. Luca took off his suit jacket, put on a shirt and vest, and stood in front of the window looking at me. Mia, you know what? Marriage means a lot to human beings. I'm taking off my wedding dress. Come and help. He came to help me zip up the back. In marriage, the most important thing is trust. Trust means not lying to each other and being true to yourself. I turned around to look at him and interrupted him in time. You just want to ask if I can transform into my true form and spend the wedding night with you, right? Luca was silent for a moment. You are very smart. He agreed wholeheartedly. We will definitely have a smart child. I thought about it. Isn't that half human, half demon? No, you are already half human and half demon. So you should be 3/4 and 1/4 demon. Is it so strict? Luca looked up at me with a worried look in his eyes. It seems that the blood of the devil is almost gone. And then, I was alert. Luca, if you conceive with your original body, it will be more conducive to the continuation of your bloodline. He really is the same no matter how things change. Saving endangered animals is everyone's responsibility. I will start first.